Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my video game pickups for the month of December 2024. Yes, the year is basically over. Or actually is over, depending on when you got around to watching this. But yeah, no, for me, it wasn't actually a crazy month. Like, I usually am traveling somewhere. I only went to one place. I went to Arkansas briefly. I live in Chicago, and I was there most of the time. So as a result, my, pickups are nice, but very humble this month. Very, relatively reserved. But that said, that's kind of nice because it gives us a little more time to actually go ahead and focus on some of this stuff. Some of which you've already seen, but we're going to go over it anyway. And then new stuff, which is pretty cool. So, before we do that though, if you guys could do me a favor, please like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before, and then check out all my social media stuff in the description. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, my Spreadshirt, travel channel. I appreciate the support on all those platforms. Thank you so much. But for real though, just click it. It's a like button, it's a comment, it's a follow, it's free. Patreon's not free, but I still appreciate the support over there. Either way, thank you guys very much. Oh, and in case you just like kind of vaguely remember this and then you go, was that crazy? No, I had my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and every year I do a live stream for it. I didn't end up doing it this year because I woke up with a migraine. To be honest with you guys, I've been really overworked, and it was like my first day off, and I was like, I can't work on today and do it with a migraine. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. But I had a nice enough birthday. So thank you to those who wished me a happy birthday, who actually knew about it. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about pickups. First up, like I said, you guys would have seen this already, but just a refresher. I did a video on it called this is the Retro Fighters Battler GC Pro Controller. Now this is the purple one, and this is the clear, transparent one, whatever, crystal one, whatever you want to call it. I'll put a link in the description to Retro Fighters if you want to scope this out. You can check out the video too. But basically, it's an updated GameCube wireless controller. It's got rumble features. It's got all sorts of new features and updated thumbsticks that are more accurate to the way the actual GameCube one was. Just kind of a more modern day pro controller for the GameCube if you're a big fan. But like I said, I did a whole video on it, so if you're curious about it, you can check it out there. Okay. Moving on, and a huge shout out again to Retro Fighters for having said that in the first place. Now, let's talk some games, because we actually picked up some games. This stack was, well, they were all purchased, but you know what I'm trying to say. This was from a specific event, this was from not. So big news, of course, is that Game of the Year went to Astrobot. I was actually in Arkansas when that happened, and so I was like, you know what? I want to pick this game up. It actually happened for a couple of reasons. One, it won Game of the Year, but also I was hanging out with a YouTuber named Travis Bowman. You guys might know. I'll put a link in the description to his channel. And while we were hanging out, that's when it won. He and his girlfriend were actually sitting there playing the game, and it was like, oh, this is kind of all fitting. And then Best Buy put it on sale because of it winning Game of the Year. And on top of that, I had a $10 Best Buy rewards coupon. So I was like, the universe coalescing here. So I went ahead and got Astrobot for PS5. Now, mine is still shrink wrapped. I haven't had time to do anything with it. But yeah, from what little I saw them playing of it, and of course, in other footage online, and the fact that it obviously won Game of the Year, this very much looked like a game I'm going to absolutely love. My first impressions, I just want to be very clear on this because I haven't actually sat there and played it. It felt like a weird love letter to Super Mario Sunshine, but that was just first impressions. I have no idea how much that would actually hold up, but either way, it looked like a lot of fun to me, so I'm very much looking forward to checking that out. Now, moving on to stuff that I got more for collection reasons. Original Xbox games. Because I was in Chicago, my hometown, I was actually around. I was doing some just business stuff out in the suburbs, and I decided to stop into a store and just kind of peruse. And I saw a game in particular that triggered this whole pile, but it might surprise you what that game was. Now, just to be clear, when it comes to the original Xbox, my goals is a global set. Every release, individual release. I don't need like 3 copies of the same. I don't need like Japanese Halo and European Halo and American Halo. Just all the ones that came out in my region, plus the exclusives. So I got all the European exclusives already. I got the Australian exclusives. There's actually 4 of them. I got the Asian exclusives, and I say Asian specifically because 48 of them are Japanese, 1 is Taiwanese, and 1 is South Korean. I have all of those. That's 50. Got them all. It's the North American stuff, funny enough, I'm actually missing a good chunk of. So I've just been chipping away at it. And in this store, they had a few I needed. Prices were reasonable. I said, fine, let's do it. First up, Gladiator Sword of Vengeance. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember anything about this game. I think it was a very early Xbox title. I always remember the cover being a little weird looking. It seemed like a strange choice to me, but I don't know. Either way, I can't say anything else about the game. Worms 3D. I had forgotten that Sega used to publish the Worms stuff for a minute there. I think it was still developed by Team 17, but Sega published it, which is just kind of a nice little bonus. This one, I think, was only there because I'm guessing this game has come down in value a bit. This was Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. What this is a collection of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, the Dreamcast game, as well as Street Fighter 2 Hyper. I don't know if that's the Dreamcast version, the Japanese. No, that would be X. Well, whatever. There's many versions of Street Fighter 2. Either way, they basically ported it over to the Xbox back in the day for the 15th anniversary, which was more than 15 years ago. At least I'm pretty sure it was more than 15 years ago. Oh, this came out in 2005, so effective like tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this. This came out 15 years ago. No, that's 20 years ago. Oldness. I just did math and it sucked. But anyway, you get where I'm going with this. I think they reissued these games somewhat recently, and so I think that that's probably why somebody parted with it. But either way, cool to have. Now, after that whole kerfluffle there, I got the game that actually triggered this, and it's going to be kind of ironic. This is MLB Slugfest 2004. It's even the original case that has like an official MLB logo on it. This is the one that made me go, oh, all right, I should get this. And you're like, you needed it for your collection like that bad? Is that the game so much itself? The MLB Slugfest games were pretty cool, by the way. But like the MLB Slugfest was when Midway, after doing, they did NFL Blitz and they did, I think they did NHL Hits. But they also famously did NBA Jam. It's kind of when they took sports games and just kind of gave them attitude. And they were a lot of fun. That's all fine and good. But the biggest reason I cared is because this game is voiced by Tim Kitzrow. Tim Kitzrow is the guy who voiced all of that stuff, including NBA Jam. From downtown, boom shakalaka, he's on fire. That's Tim Kitzrow. Now, Tim Kitzrow is a friend of mine, which is cool enough. However, and this is a big deal, I'm actually going to be in a video game with him doing voiceover. In fact, if you'll indulge me, here's footage.
Hey guys, it's Adam here. I hope you guys will give me 1 second to talk to you about a new video game I'm actually in called Legends of Boom. As you can see here on the screen, I'm going to be animated like this, as a puppet. How awesome is that? And I'm going to be doing it alongside the legendary Tim Kitzrow, who you guys would know as NBA Jam's From Downtown, Boom Shakalaka, He's on Fire. That guy. He and I are doing a video game together. It is so awesome to me. It's like a childhood dream come true. So the good people at First Moon Studios who are making this game, they kind of gave me a little breakdown here that I could use to kind of explain the game to you. And it is as follows. It is a hilarious and fun card strategy game. Legends of Boom is a strategic RTS-like card battle game that's free to play on Steam. Challenge opponents online from anywhere in the world and put your strategy to the test. Or take the journey through the single-player path of Boom where you'll unlock powerful rewards and upgrade your cards to dominate the competition. You feeling competitive? Team up with friends in 2-on-2 matches where teamwork and clever combos are the key to victory. You can even make new friends by joining or starting your own team to take on Team Wars, a new feature that will keep the action fresh and exciting every season. Climb the ranks and prove your skills on the global leaderboard. Whether you're battling solo or with your team, every win gets you one step closer to being crowned a legend. Do you have what it takes to reach the top? I know I don't, but you guys probably do because you're much better at video games. With Legends of Boom, you'll get to laugh, strategize, and outplay your opponents, all while enjoying the voice talents of myself, Tim Kitzrow, and the rest of the amazing cast. So, let's put that in perspective here. You have NBA Jam legend Tim Kitzrow, and then the guy who maybe helped you clean your GameCube once that you used to fall asleep to because I was described as the Bob Ross of video game console cleaning. Anyway, plus there's the rest of the cast that's actually talented. Whether you're a seasoned strategist or just here for the laughs, there's something for everyone. So, I ask you, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download Legends of Boom, start your climb to the top, and let the battle begin. Because I need people to actually show that they're good at games like this, because I suck, and I like to be embarrassed on a national stage. I'm hoping for global one day.
That was cool, right? I hope you guys didn't mind sitting through that, but I just thought that that's really neat. I swear this is not sponsored. I really am in this game, and I'm just really proud of it. I think it's really cool, and I'm hoping to do even more voiceover stuff with it. I get to do voiceover in games from time to time, but this is like the only time so far anyway where I'm playing myself. You know what I mean? It's cool. But yeah, that's why I wanted to get it. So that's just really what triggered that whole thing. Anyway, moving on. Like I mentioned before, I went to Little Rock, Arkansas. I had some video stuff I had to work on. And while I was there, as I mentioned, Travis took me around. We went to a bunch of game stores. And yes, that would include Retro Rick's. I will take a second here to say you're going to see a video that is that Arkansas journey. I don't know if it'll be January or February. Probably February, actually. And you're going to see some other game hunting videos coming up. In fact, if you watch the channel regularly, you'll know just recently I put out one on game hunting in New Mexico. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to Japan in like a few days from now. In fact, no, by the time you see this, I'm already there. So that side of things is going to be crazy. I'm going to pick up more stuff as I always do. But I'll be there for most of January, and I didn't want to leave you guys without entertainment. So there's going to be a bunch of game hunting videos that will come out while I'm gone. And that'll include game hunting in Michigan, Southern Ontario, Canada, etc. And it's funny, too, because those videos get kind of delayed behind the pickups. So you'll see the pickups like months before you ever see the adventure that led to them. That's just how scheduling works. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy that while I'm gone and check it out. If you like those kinds of videos, by the way, the game hunting and checking stuff out, that's like basically what my travel channel is, just minus the game hunting part. You go around and like have adventures and just see all sorts of stuff. And, you know, live vicariously if you want to think of it that way. But really, it's more about me taking you guys on a journey and saying, hey, if you ever go to this place, this is what your options are. And I think you guys will get a kick out of it. But anyway, that's all links in the description. Now, let's talk about the pickups themselves. And again, huge shout out to Travis. I'll put a link in the description to his channel. I don't remember where all of these came from. We went to like 5 different stores, so it doesn't really matter. But the first one up was the Simpsons game for PSP. I know, I got another PSP game, right? I kind of just wanted this because I kind of wanted to expand my PSP collection a little bit. I don't have much of one. But also, this was a game that wasn't exclusive to the system. EA in the day kind of put it on everything. But I think the PSP game is different than, say, the console version. And, I mean, I don't really know. But it was cheap enough. I like The Simpsons, whatever. And realistically, this game's never getting reissued. However, I don't know, as I think about it, though, Disney now owns this because they now own Fox and all that, and they had a deal with EA for Star Wars reissues. So I don't know, maybe this can somehow be reissued, but more realistically it would be the console version. But I don't know. Either way, I wanted to pick it up. It was cool. For the GameCube, I got one GameCube game. My GameCube goal is a little different than my Xbox goal. My Xbox is like, I want the whole set. With GameCube, I just want all the ones that never came out on the original Xbox, which substantially shrinks down the library, making it vastly more reasonable. That said, I'm still missing quite a bit, especially, sadly, a bunch of heavy hitters. This is not one of them, but it is on the list, and it was just, oh, there it is, and it's fine, and it's affordable. Screw it, let's get it. This would be Monster 4x4 Masters of Metal. I think this is 2000. I was going to say, I thought this is from that awkward era, like where the Xbox was done, but GameCube and PS2 still had like a year left in them. Nope. This was from 2003, and it was Ubisoft. I have no idea why this didn't come out on the original Xbox, but apparently not. Anyway, got that. And then for the Xbox 360, I got a couple of games as well. Both of these were just kind of, okay. Falling Skies, the game. Does anybody remember this? This was a TV show. I never watched it, but I do remember the ads for it all the time. I'm pretty sure the show flopped, and so this is a game that just lives and dies on this system. I think there's a PS3 version, to be fair, but like they're never gonna reissue this. It's a TV show tie-in game from, you know, a failed show. So by no means valuable, but those are the kinds of things with the 360 I find interesting. Either games I actively want to play, or games that I'm just like, that will probably never see the light of day on any other platform after that point. You know what I mean? I have no designs on a full 360 set. That's just no. But either way, very cool. And then this one I got because, well, I mentioned before I did these videos in Michigan and Southern Ontario, Canada. And I was hanging with a buddy of mine named Snowman. He's in my Discord. He's cool. You should hang out with him. Join my Discord. There's lots of cool people in there. It's very active. People are chatting all the time. But anyway, he was constantly pushing to find this game. Like, he has it, but he was like, you should get it. You should get it. This game's really good. And I was like, all right. And eventually, I didn't find it with him, but I did find it in Arkansas. And that's Rogue Warrior, a Bethesda game, actually. And yeah, he said it's like crazy violent and it's cool. It's fun. It's also a pretty cheap game still, interestingly. And he keeps saying it's because people just haven't heard of it yet. So now you have. Get out in front of it. But anyway, yeah, no, he said it was really cool, so I picked it up on that basis alone. Anyway, that was it for the Arkansas pickups. Now, kind of back to something you've already seen, but it's so cool I have to show you again. This is my reproduction Sega Neptune. I did a whole video on it very recently. Watch that for a lot more information. Long and the short of it, it's the Sega Neptune was an unreleased prototype Sega was working on that was a combined Sega Genesis 32X system. There's only one ever made. It's in the National Video Game Museum in Frisco, Texas. I've even done a video on it. I had access to it. However, let's just, long story short, modders have come up with custom shells, and they are taking, original Sega Genesis and 32X components, pressing them together effectively, and you basically solder together your own system. That's the long and the short of it. It's very, very cool. And it supports the Sega CD, all that sort of stuff. It's got the port, I mean by that. But I just wanted to respond slightly to some of the comments on it, because there was a couple in particular I found interesting. Funny enough, the guy who actually designed these reached out to me on Twitter after the video, and he's like, I love the video, I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. 2 points in particular, because my biggest criticisms with it were, and I based this solely off of what is sitting in front of me, the cartridge slot it looks like a spring load. It's not. It's like a plastic flap. Apparently there is a spring load version of this. It's just like a different shell. It's a different install. I didn't know that. So there's nothing I can do about that, which is fine because, it's just cosmetic. The other one is there's a power button issue. Like, it can be a pain to get it to turn on or off because the power button itself is not super reliable. But that said, he basically was like, well, that can be altered depending on like how the install goes. You got to remember, this is not an official product. It is a fan-made thing that's using components of official products, but ultimately it's a fan-produced item. And therefore, I never expected that kind of perfection. To me, as what I said then, and I say now, it's a really cool novelty. I love having it. But it would be a silly way to actively sit down and play the Genesis or 32X on the regular, and I maintain that. But for having it as a display piece, it's amazing. So that's one point. The other point, based on the comments, and this one blew my mind, the number one comment I got was, tell us where to get it. I did. I straight up told you guys in the video, it was George at 1UP Productions, and then I said I put a link in the description, and I did. I put 4. But it was the number one thing of, I don't know how to get it. It's in the description. Click the links. It's there. So I'm just repeating that. If you wanted it, the links are in the description. In fact, I'll do it again. The links are in the description. This time. Again. If you want it, go to George. That's all I can say. So, yeah, that's it. Anyway, cool. Moving on, though. Check out the video if you want more information. All right, moving on. We got 2 last items. Both are boxes. To be fair, this one is an open box. I'm just using it to shield you from seeing it because I'm saving it for last. But this one is a sealed item. This is not something that was sent to me. I bought this, but I'm going to show it to you guys because I think it's very, very cool. This comes from Songbird Productions. Now, Songbird Productions, I've met him. He's a very nice guy. I see him at cons a lot. Based out of Minnesota. He does a lot of work with Atari stuff. Repros and things like that, and new titles as well. But also one of the systems he supports, and that's what we're talking about today, is the VM Labs Nuon. And for that system, we have a new game called Ring Flyer, which we'll talk about more in a second. On top of that, he included a couple of other bonus items, some stickers specifically for the Nuon, Songbird logo, as well as a couple of bonus discs. These are replacement discs for certain releases. Freefall 3050 AD, as well as Iron Soldier 3. These are versions of the games that are compatible with different models. We'll talk about this one at a time here. First thing to say is, do you know what a VM Labs Nuon is? And if you don't feel bad. Even I had no clue until a few years ago. The VM Labs Nuon, I've done videos on it. You can check them out for the longer explanation. But in short, A bunch of former Atari employees, after the Atari Jaguar went under, decided to form their own company and make another console, a 6th-gen competitor that would go up against the PS2, Dreamcast, GameCube, Xbox. It comes out in the summer of 2000 and is pretty much discontinued by the fall of 2000. It did not last long. The PlayStation 2, if you think about it, is a video game console with a DVD player built into it. They kind of went the reverse logic of, we will integrate VM Labs' Nuon gaming technology into pre-existing DVD players. So we'll just attach ourselves to that. So basically the logic was you would buy a DVD player, and as a bonus feature it had this thing called Nuon compatibility. It did not work out well. Only 8 games were ever actually released for it, and that's all she wrote. Oddly enough, in the last couple of years, there's been something of an indie movement. I really just say something of a movement because we are talking about a niche base here. I'm one of them. I've done videos on this stuff. There's a new controller adapter, new controllers even, I think, etc. And as well as reissues of titles. So Songbird reached out to some of the original rights owners of some of these actual Nuon game issues that had come out, or copies that had come out, contacts them, and some of them say, yeah, all right, you can officially rebrand our games or reissue our games. So like Iron Soldier, for example, got an officially licensed reissue through him, as well as Freefall 3050 AD. The problem is there are a ton of models of the Nuon because the whole idea was to just integrate it into DVD players. So there were certain compatibility issues, which was an issue that existed all the way back when they originally made the system. But as a result, some games, the reissues didn't work on certain models. And since the community is really small, it took a really long time for them to figure that out. So the point is, these were free discs that Songbird sent out as reissue discs that would be more compatible with more models. That's all these really are. But this is a new release called Ring Flyer. This is the 9th Nuon game. There has been some homebrew over the years. In fact, there was even like a homebrew disc compilation at one point. But this is like straight up like a pressed, nice new release. It is the first true indie game made for the system. And I know they want to do another one, but from my understanding, sales on it hasn't been particularly good, which is not that shocking. I think their goal is only to sell like 75, maybe 100 of them, something like that. And they haven't reached that. So if you have any interest in the Nuon, or even the concept of supporting the idea of the Nuon getting a new game randomly in 2024, effectively 2025, I'll put a link in the description and you can go ahead and pick this up, because then we could maybe see that, hey, we can hit double digits and get that 10th Nuon game. It actually looks pretty cool. From what I can tell in the footage, it's basically kind of a Star Fox clone, SNES version. It's called Ring Flyer, and it very much looks like that's kind of what you're doing. Now, obviously, I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I just love the fact this exists. And yes, I did buy this, so I put down money for it. Yeah, very, very cool. So huge shout out to Songbird, though. The fact that they are willing to put that kind of effort in is really awesome. So I hope you guys will check it out, too, if you have any interest whatsoever in the Nuon or supporting the idea of it. Now, last but not least is the contents of this box, which, again, I'm just using as a shield here. It's going to be kind of funny. When you watch these videos I've been talking about, the game hunting videos in Michigan and Ontario, the whole time I'm talking about this one thing I really want to get. It's almost like a recurring joke, but I never found it. Spoilers. When I got back home, I was still like, I really want that. So I went to eBay, and it's a hard item to get, but this new listing had just popped up, and there it was, and I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And that item was, this is going to sound very random, for the Super Nintendo, a boxed copy of Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City. And you might be like, now here's the funny thing. Obviously, I'm from Chicago, so I love Michael Jordan. Oh, I worship you, sir. But it's not just that. It wasn't that simplistic. In fact, I actually already own the game. I already have a loose card of it. But I wanted a box copy. And you might be like, why? I've never known you to collect box Super Nintendo. And right you are, sir. I don't have box Super Nintendo games. I've never cared about complete and box Super Nintendo games. Why does this matter? Is it just Michael? Sort of. Here's the thing with this game. Well, first of all, two factors. One is less interesting, but I'm going to say it first because I think it's kind of important to explain why this is a hard title to find. This game is not great. And as a result, it didn't sell too well. Not that you can't find copies, you certainly can. It's just that finding a boxed copy in decent condition is difficult, and I could never find out why until I was asking at a bunch of cons. One guy actually explained it to me. He's like, the problem with this game is it's sold very poorly, so most copies ended up in rental stores, and they were often, the boxes were discarded, or they sat in the sunlight, just sun fading over time. And I noticed that because when I looked it up online, a lot of copies were in terrible condition, had rental stickers on them, that kind of thing. There were very few copies I ever saw where it was like, hey, I'm the original owner and I bought it when it came out. That's factor number one. But the real motivator by why I wanted this, you look at the artwork, right? Michael's got that shirt on, he's holding the 2 basketballs, he's wearing those black shorts. I own those shorts. Like the actual ones that Michael is wearing in the photo. Here, look, there they are together, reunited. I own those. Now you're probably like, what? That was a pickup from a couple of years ago on this channel. Very long story short, I am friends with a guy who was actually one of the leads of this game. He was one of the original producers of it. And he basically told me this story where he's like, yeah, when we were making the game, Michael came in, we did the photo shoot, which you see on the artwork there. And we gave him the outfits. We had picked it out. And after the photo shoot was over, which only took like a half hour to an hour, he takes off the clothes and he gives them back to us. My boss kept the jersey. I got to keep the shorts. And he just held on to them. And then he gave them to me because he's like, you're the first person who ever cared about this. I was like, thank you. So I thought, wouldn't it be neat, since I actually own those shorts, to frame it along with a copy of the game? But a complete copy, because I want you to be able to see the box, the manual, the cartridge, and the shorts. See where I'm going with this? And once it's all framed, it'll make a very nice display piece. But for the aforementioned of it being a weird rental game that sold poorly, that was hard to find. But now, I have done it. Anywho, that will do it for now. I hope you guys have a nice, awesome new year and everything. If you guys could do me a favor again, please like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before. And again, the social media stuff. Check it all out. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, as well as all the other stuff here. Like if you want to get that copy of Ring Flyer or support the new one, that's an option. You want your own Neptune, which by the way is admittedly difficult, but I put all the information there. You can check out Retro Fighters as well, and check out Legends of Boom too. I think that'll be pretty cool as well. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.